What's up? What's up? What's going on, man? Let me see if I can put my. Oh, there we go. Put my chat right here. You hate your neighbor? Why? Why is that? Dude, I'm literally I'm literally trying to set everything up here because I've I usually do not go live on TikTok. I mean on YouTube. I'm sorry. I always go live on TikTok, but I'm changing some things around. I think I'm gonna be doing some live streaming on YouTube more often. So yeah. Oh yeah, man. I don't know. Your neighbor. It's is that one of those weird neighbors? Like you know they always like creep into the windows and stuff like that. That's crazy. I know, man. I always go live on TikTok. TikTok is suppressing um, all UFO content. So that's why I'm literally trying to change like the way I do things, especially with my with the whole UFO videos I make and the whole thing. So I want to literally just change something about the way I do things. So I think I am going to be like doing more on YouTube instead of TikTok because TikTok right now it's no good, man, for this topic. So if you're not a woman in a bikini on TikTok, you're not like your content is not gonna get pushed. So yeah. Um, we're gonna be reacting to Lou Alessandro. He trying to see where is my. Let's go see. I'm trying to see if it does this sound good? Hey, what's up? How long? I think I'm gonna be here um for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Does this sound good? Hey, what's up? How long? I think my microphone sounds really bad. I gotta see what's going on with this. Certify, yes, sir. Um, can you guys tell me if my microphone sounds good? it has an echo for some reason. It has some echo. Oh, I know why. There we go. I know why. I know exactly why. There we go. I think I fixed it. All right, I think it sounds good now. All right, let's see here. Let's see.
Truth. Okay, so that's quite a strong memo, prioritising emerging all-domain technologies. We'll obviously put this up online, but I'm interested to get Lou Elizondo's response. I approached him last week when I got back from Peru. Of course, I had a voice back then. Lou, welcome to Reality Check. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always my privilege. Thank you, Ross, for having me. And I hope you feel better from maybe you picked something up on your last travels, but take care of that. Take care of that voice.
I will do, sir. I will do, sir. Now, this is a very important memo. The thing that leaps out at me about it, though, is what has the president done about it? What has been the response, if any? Do we know if President Trump received this memo directly?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. There are no guarantees in life, right, except for death and taxes. So I'm certainly not going to speak on behalf of the President of the United States. It is true in your assertion that the memo was sent. It was sent on behalf of myself. And whether or not the President has had time to read it or his staff, that's a question you'd have to ask him. I certainly wouldn't want to be presumptuous and try to answer for the boss in any way. Um, my hope and desire is that someone in his administration in a position of authority had a chance to review it. I think it's also important too that it's basically just a general recommendation to find somebody out there that the president and the National Security Council can basically tag to be the point of contact for this issue. We are now seeing, Ross, a significant issue that drones are playing on the battlefield. In fact, there was a statistic recently released that over in the Ukraine, for the first time in warfare history.
By the way, Lua Losando said, you know, remember the drone sightings in New Jersey and pretty much all over the place? He said, technically, what he said was it was never FAA verified. Like, they never. Because remember, like, these, like the Pentagon, or no, I don't think it was the Pentagon. I think it was like, I forgot who it was, the FBI or something like that. They said that the FAA approved the the drones in New Jersey, like the drone sightings last year. Um, I think it was the lady from the White House too. She said something about it. But Lua Losando is saying that it was never approved by the FAA. Like, they never approve the, all, like, the drones. So they like what's going on, right? It's kind of weird if you think about it. A lot of people speculates, it's like the Lockheed Skunk Works or JPL, EG&G, and all of those private contractors. You know what I mean? So, um, but he talks about this in a little bit here, but I think it's pretty fascinating to kind of know what's going on, right? A little bit about the drone situation.
That there have been more casualties caused by drones than infantry and artillery combined. So think about that for a moment, right? We are now at a tipping point where the pervasiveness of certain technologies can be in the hands of just about anybody. And if you get on the internet, even this morning, I saw an article where drones were being used in prisons to distract guards and to attack and kill other individuals. So the technology is here, and the issues are now in front of us. And that was one of the things that really served as the impetus for me to write this memo in the first place.
Now, what's interesting, Lou, about this memo is that it's combining drones, human drones, and UAPs. Why did you do
Sure.
that? Why did you
Well,
put in the same memo?
sure. Well, first of all, there's a lot of commonalities between the two, right? We don't know something. Everything is unidentified until it becomes identified, and that's true whether it's
Yeah.
a Chinese spy balloon or it is a drone, as we saw in the recent New Jersey flap last year, or it is a UAP. And so you can think of this emerging all domain technology as a large umbrella. And under that umbrella, there are these smaller little umbrellas that fit. And UAP are one of them, drones are another. And at the end of the day, we have to do a better job of understanding what is in our skies. Otherwise, what happens is what we have this last year where we have to shut down airports, restricted airspace, and we're having to move some of our very sensitive military equities to another location simply because we do not have control and awareness of what's in our skies.
Can I ask you, sir, do you think the president was correctly advised when, later in January, after your memo was sent to the president, Caroline Levitt, the president's spokeswoman, put out a statement saying the drones over New Jersey were FAA authorized drones? That's an extraordinary explanation that, frankly, doesn't wash with me. Does it wash with you? There is a drones mystery still.
Well, we already know that's not entirely accurate, but let me preface by saying I don't think this was the fault of Miss Carolyn Levitt. I think she was simply reporting what she was told, and at the time it probably seemed factual. But as we now know, that Senator Cory Booker himself from New Jersey had spoken to the FAA directly, and they told him absolutely not, that these were not all approved and authorized by the FAA. So herein lies the problem. We have this gigantic bureaucracy.
So they were not approved by the FAA. That's because I remember like they were going back and forth last year. They were like the FBI, the Pentagon, the White House, and pretty much everybody. They were going back and forth. Just kind of pointing fingers. It's like, no, these people should know about it. No, they should know about it. No, we don't know anything about it. So, like, everything was just like a mess. Nobody knew anything. But so, okay, I mean, the FAA did not approve those drones in New Jersey. That's wow. That's a huge statement right there from Lou Elizondo. That's crazy. I mean, I kind of knew something was going on, especially when you know a little bit about the Lockheed Martin and what they do and the secrecy and all of that. So, but it's it's insane. Hey, what's up, Madeline in the house? What's up, Madeline? How you doing? But yeah, let's keep watching.
Called the U.S. government with three separate branches. And within those three separate branches, countless amounts of agencies and organizations. And they don't always talk to each other in an efficient manner. And so you get this, if you will, this cross wires where information appears to be contradictory and is being provided to the public through the media, but it hasn't been fully vetted. And so, again, I want to just make this clear. I don't think this is necessarily the fault of the administration. I think the administration is simply reporting what it was told at the time it was being told. But there is a larger
Yeah.
issue here, and that is there's an overall dysfunction within the bureaucracy
Right.
that does not allow, this is part of the problem, the president to get the information he needs or she needs when she needs it or when he needs it, with the fidelity that is required to make a good decision. You cannot make an informed decision without having all the facts. And the bottom line here is the administration was not and still is not receiving all the facts. And so by creating a position, a single, if you will, belly button for the president to reach out to and not get a response or reply in a week or 4 or 5 days, but within 5 minutes. Hey, what's going on? We're picking something up on radar. Get a hold of NORAD, get a hold of the FAA. Let's find out what these things are. Do they pose a threat? What is their trajectory? What is their source of origination? So we can get a better handle of what's in our skies. Let's not forget that it was during 9/11 that we suffered a catastrophic consequence of dysfunction within our government's bureaucracy. You had pockets of information residing within the CIA and the FBI and even the Department of Defense, and that information was not being shared with the relevant authorities. So we had an incomplete picture of our what we call air domain awareness, or what's in our skies. And the result of that,
Yeah.
I don't need to rehash here, but the results of that were quite obvious. And yet here we are now, 20 some years later, and we still don't know what's in our skies. We still haven't figured out how to crack the code in having this comprehensive picture. And
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think we do know. I think we do know what's out there. You know, um, I mean, it can either be two things, right? It can either be, you know, extraterrestrials, right? Or most likely, um, man-made UFOs, right? It could be these UAPs from the Lockheed Skunk Works, um, which that's probably that's like 80% a possibility. The other 20%, I think it's these entities, these aliens, because we do have some ETs out there. There are some ETs, and but it's very low. It's not like they're everywhere. It's because I think they have. I think they know what's really going on, right? Because if we talk about how are these ETs even crashing on planet Earth, don't you see like a lot of people, like especially from like the military and those people, they always say, hey, they're crashing, right? It makes no sense, because if you're a highly advanced species from outer space, right? Let's just say you're from I don't know, another star system or something like that, and like they found us somehow. They found us, this little tiny blue planet. And I mean, do you think they're gonna be just crashing on planet Earth? I don't. It makes no sense, right? It makes no sense whatsoever. If you're highly advanced and you got the technology to just literally appear and disappeared, and you have this 0 point of energy, and you can create your own gravity around the craft and all of that, right? It makes no sense that they're crashing on planet Earth. So I think that Lou, it's sometimes I just think that he just doesn't know what he's talking about, because if you listen to like Dr. Greer, Dr. Greer says that, and not just Dr. Greer, but like many other people, they say that, the Lockheed, Skunkworks and JPL, EG&G, and all of these other private contractors, they have, these extraterrestrial technologies, and they can literally use that against the ETs. So, like, what's really going on? Are we the ones knocking these ETs down instead of them crashing, right? Are we the ones taking these ETs down, like these flying saucers or whatever they got going on, right? I feel like we are, you know, with like scalar weapons, right? With like these technically what they're doing is they're using their own technology against them, you know. So that's why they're crashing. They're not crashing because they don't know what they're doing. They're literally they're being taken down. So um and of course, they go and they retrieve the craft, and they take the craft to a secret facility underground somewhere in the desert, right? So and like all of that has been going on for a long time, you know. Was the 1947 Roswell crash, or incident, a crash? Like, did they really crash, or did we took them down? That's a very good question. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I think this whole thing is just like, you know, is the typical rabbit hole, right? It never ends. It's like it's so deep down there. It's like you're never gonna get to it, you know. But I think that's what's really going on. I think they're knocking down these ETs, you know. So yeah, I think we took them down too. To be honest, I think we did. Um, I don't think they're just crashing on planet Earth. It makes no sense, you know. So
And so, by creating an individual that sits at the very top that can advise the president, um, we can actually pin the tail on the donkey. Look, we have a drug czar for this country. We have a terrorism czar for this country. We have all these positions that are put in place simply to kind of cut through the red tape of the bureaucracy and inform the president and inform the administration of emerging threats as they're happening. And for some reason, we still can't seem to do it quite right. Now, there was an effort by the Director of National Intelligence. They were called National Intelligence Managers, NIMS, and there was for a while one called NIM Aviation. That was its job, their job to look at our skies and be able to provide information as it was occurring to administration officials. I don't know whatever happened to that position. From my understanding, I don't even know if it's still around. It could be. But I think we need a much more comprehensive, a much more robust
yeah,
um, effort to try to really figure out once and for all what's in our skies.
Now, we know that your memo went to senior people in the Trump administration. We don't know whether Donald Trump has actually actioned it or done anything with it or even read it. But what worries me is the conspicuous lack of action on any of the issues that you raise in that memo. I don't see any action on drones, and I don't see any action from this administration on UAPs. Are you getting any indications from anyone within the administration to suggest that they are taking the UAP issue seriously?
Yes, I am, and the drone issue. In fact, there's pockets within the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and pockets within the Director of National Intelligence that are taking this topic seriously. I think their approach is very measured. I think they're doing their due diligence. They're asking the right questions. They're going about this the right way. Now the question is, do they have enough people? Well, that I can't tell you. I don't know, and I think only time will tell. But I do see that there are pockets of expertise and excellence that is being applied to this topic. I think what some people may confuse is the lack of transparency or necessarily discussion openly about what they're doing. And so I think that creates some frustration internally with some people. But I am I'm very confident and very relieved that at least certain individuals whom I know are working on this topic are indeed taking it very seriously, and basically pulling the thread to see where it leads. Now, at the
Man, I think we need to bring I think they need to bring in Dr. Greer. Yeah. I mean, you know, they need addresses and locations. I think Dr. Greer have um these locations, right, where these black sites are. Um I mean, he also got a whole archive, right? I mean, who else do you know in the UFO community, right? Who have a whole entire archive. I don't know about anybody else, but Dr. Greer. I mean, if you know a name, let me know. But the only guy I know that have a whole archive, about the UFO phenomena, the secrecy and documents and pictures and videos and whistleblowers. I mean, you can go back 30, 35, 40 years back. This guy, he's been gathering information, data, proof, um, locations, addresses. I mean, you name it. You got to bring Dr. Greer. You got to bring Dr. Greer into, you know, these conversation. Um, I think that's the play here because it sounds weird, but a lot of people don't really trust Dr. Greer for some reason, which I don't understand why. Right? It's like, well, Dr. Greer, he's been promising disclosure for so long. Well, so does your government. Your government, they're been promising disclosure too. The UAP task force and other people as well. It's not just Dr. Greer. Um, has Dr. Greer failed to keep up his word? Yes. Other people have to, but you gotta give the guy credit. You gotta give Dr. Greer credit, because he does have a lot of information, and I think they need to bring Dr. Greer in Congress. You know, and I think that's the play. Literally, I think that's the play.
the end of the day, time will tell what those results will be. But no, I'm very grateful and heartened to see some of the efforts that I see behind closed doors. I'm not going to say right now who specifically is involved. I think we need to give these individuals latitude and ability to maneuver. It is a tough problem. It is a tough problem. We haven't solved it yet, and we're still trying to figure it out. And it's not going to be solved overnight. I do think one of the ways to help find resolution to this problem sooner rather than later is to establish a primary individual that is responsible for this. This is what they get paid to do, right? So if they drop the ball, now it's on their hands, on their shoulders. I also think what you mentioned earlier about establishing a imagine a strategy every year that comes out. And this strategy basically says, here are the holes that we see in our ability to understand what's in our skies. And then you have on the heels of that, this National Intelligence Estimate, an NIE. We've done it before for other hard targets. An NIE is basically just a document that says, hey, look, here are the problems we're dealing with topic X or topic Y. Here are some of the challenges. Here are some of the gaps that we see. Here's some of the resolution we have found. And then right on the heels of a national intelligence estimate, you develop a national level strategy that's good for 1 year that helps the intelligence community, helps the defense community, helps the U.S. government writ large to try to focus on those gaps. How do we plug those holes so we have a better understanding of what exactly is going on in our skies?
Okay, so we do know that in November it was reported by the Pentagon that there'd been a meeting of 180 experts and other agencies for a summit for a planned 3-year effort to deliver small unmanned aerial system capabilities to warfighters and to keep the skies over America safe from dangerous drones. And this followed an announcement in August by Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, where he launched what's called the Joint Interagency Task Force 401. And this seems to have been very much a focus on the drones issue, I think largely because there was the beginning of a realization that the explanations that had been given by people in the administration just weren't washing. The drones were and still are a problem over the continental United States, and
Yeah.
the Pentagon had to be seen to be doing something about it. Why is the Joint Interagency Task Force 401 inadequate to address what you're raising in your memo of January 2025?
Well, I think it lacks seniority. You know, whenever you have a task force, you have a task force lead. Task forces are by design only to be temporary bodies. So, for example, the UAP task force or the counter IED task force or these other ISR task forces that have been established in the past.
This is a long interview. It's like 1 hour or 54 minutes. Um, it's if you guys want to watch like the whole thing, it's on, here on YouTube, News Nation and Ross Colhart. But I think I think it's pretty interesting that Lua Losando came out and you know spoke about the drone situation, right? The FAA never knew anything about what was really going on. They never gave the green light to, these drone sightings in New Jersey. That's what um uh you know Lua Losando is claiming here, which I believe it. I'm gonna have to agree with Lua Losando here, which it's weird that I'm agreeing with with Lua Losando, but um I said it. I made a video actually last year. Yeah, last year I made some videos about the whole drone situation, and I said that the FAA don't even have a clue on what's really going on. Because it was really strange. It was a very strange situation for weeks in New Jersey. You know, so I think Lou was right about this one. You know, but yeah, it's crazy. I want to go here and I want to see what's going on X. I want to see um if there is new UFO information or news. I just gonna go around here and see what people is talking about. What the community you know it's sharing and talking and all of that. So sometimes it's just nothing there. Sometimes it is. But as of right, what is this? Mars, pretty cool rocks. Anomaly Hunter Martini. What is this? A door? No freaking way. What is this? Are you guys seeing this shit? This is Mars. This is a NASA raw image of Mars. It was found by Martini Graney in 2020. I gotta see this. What the hell is this going? Like, all right, let's go see here. No, that's not a door. That's not a door. It's too small. The rock is too small. Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? That's too small. I think that's what is this? Like if you zoom out, look at how tiny the rocks are. These are not huge rocks. So it's not a door. Wait, what is this? That's another rock. I think this is a shadow or something. I think that's a shadow right here. Yeah, that's a shadow. That rock is too small to be a door. That's not a door. I thought it was like a, well, not a door. It's like a, you know, like an opening for a cave. I think that's what, I think that's like the cut of the rock. That's why you see the shadow right there. This is like a shadow of the rock, of the side of the rock. This is a cut right here. You can see the same thing here. Like if you zoom in, you see the same thing here. Yeah, that's what we're seeing right here. Dude, I was about to say, is that a freaking pathway to like a underground cave or something in on Mars? Yeah, this is a tiny rock right there. Holy cow. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Time to get real on UFOs. From page, mainstream. Tuesday. These researchers say they have serious questions about UFOs, aliens. Okay. What is going on in the community? Oh my god, this is probably one of my favorite videos right here. 1998, Brazil. God, remember, this is, I don't think we had a drones. Did we have drones in 1998? Especially in Brazil?
Fernando, conseguimos pegar.
My Discord? Yeah. Here's my Discord. Here, you can take a screenshot. It is Tronic. Give me 1 second. Tronic 6129. Tronic with 2 C's. Tronic 6129. Tronic 6129. All right, let's keep watching this.
Tira pouco atrás. Nossa, Cate! Meu Deus, está baixando.
1998, Brazil.
Cheguei.
Let's see. I'm curious. Did we had drones in 1998? Oh, okay. Yes, we did have drones in 1998, but it was military. It was military surveillance tools. It was only military. And this is how the drones look like in 1998. So yeah, but I mean, this is Brazil, man, you know? And this thing is like out there.
Mãe, não é de controle remoto, não. Como que ela pode descer tão rápido e tão...
The public did not have drones. It was only military. Look at this thing. It's like... Holy cow. Look at that. It's all over the place. You've seen UFOs twice before? Oh wow. Nice. Yeah, I had many experiences before too. Me and my wife, we actually recorded a triangular UAP in our backyard, and I have the footage. We recorded that. In 2009, I had an experience with a plasmoid. It's a, plasma spacecraft, or, something like that. But it was, I don't think it was not metallic. It was like this orange plasma thing that was just there for 5 minutes. It was like very quick. It happened so fast. And in 2012, I had another experience in a parking lot, fast food restaurant parking lot, and another guy was in the parking lot recording this thing with a little tiny camera in 2012. And I was in the parking lot also, and I looked up, and it was there, 2 UFOs, 2 flying saucers. They were hovering around, and it was around, I think it was around 1 p.m. It was in the afternoon. So it was like clear, like there was no clouds and nothing like that. So now that right there was pretty cool. It was these 2 metallic saucers, these round saucers just there hovering. And then, like, I would say probably 7 minutes or 10 minutes later, it's just like disappeared. Discord. Oh yeah. Let me get you in, man. Let me get you in here. Pending. What is your name on Discord? I think I got you here. All right, let me see. There we go. Wow. Okay, this is this one was a good one right here. That was a pretty good video right here. I remember this one, 1998. It's a good one. I have so many videos too here. I actually have videos from the early 2000s from Italy, Milan, Italy. Wait, is this real? Nah, I think this is AI. It's only 10 minutes or 10 seconds. It's AI. It's AI. I remember seeing orange, light blue, and flashing white lights. Then I ran to the window and saw a tall gray crouching near the tree, and it was staring at you. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's impressive. Did so what happened next? Did you were you scared? Um Was it only one gray? Was it a group of grays? Because a lot of the times, like the way they operate the grades, they go by three. They like you never see grays. You never see only one gray. There's always three grays. Because I had an experience with grays before, and when they came into my home, um, it was three of them. It wasn't just one. It was three. So that's how I know how they operate. They operate on threes. Um, you was too scared? Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's you know, having an experience with extraterrestrials or, you know, the EBs, right? Extraterrestrial biological entities. It could you can have you know, a lot of thoughts, right? Um just running in your mind, you know, it's like a lot of people get really scared, a lot of people get nervous, a lot of people get on shock, you know. So everybody's different. But yeah, I mean, if it's your first time and you're seeing something that you have never seen before, yeah, of course, you know, you're gonna be scared. Um, some people just pass out, you know. So, but yeah, I think this one is AI. This is not a real footage. It is 10 seconds. You can tell. You can tell nowadays when something is AI because of the timing, like 10 seconds, 9, 10 seconds, exactly 9, 10 seconds. You know, that's how AI reproduces their videos. I think there are some ones, like some other softwares out there, they can probably do more than 10 seconds, but mostly all of AI video making, it's about 9 to 10 seconds. All right. So, nice. Oh, this is Avilob. Oh, if you haven't watched my latest video, I uploaded a video today on my YouTube channel, and I talked about Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb came out and he talked about Three Eye Atlas, obviously, and you know, I've made a video talking about it. I still believe Three Eye Atlas is a interstellar comet. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I believe it is a interstellar comet. I don't think it's a mothership or some type of, you know, alien species or the Dracos, right? The reptilians. Um, I don't get the vibes about, you know, Three Eye Atlas being a mothership. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys feel different about this one, but I think that's what it is. It's just an interstellar comment. But I did made a video about you know, just reacting um about the you know, Three Eye Atlas. Actually, let me see. I have something here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there you go. So Danny Jones, the Danny Jones podcast. I love Danny Jones. Three Eye Atlas has numerous anomalous traits that we've never seen in other comets. Um, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says it's possible that our solar system was targeted by Three Eye Atlas. That's a huge statement right there from a scientist. Someone or something sent it here on purpose. Oh, wow. Okay. So a lot of people get pissed off when I make videos like this because they, you know, a lot like right now on TikTok, a lot of people are just like commenting on the video I made today about, you know, Avi Loeb. And a lot of them are saying, "Oh, he never said that. He never." It's like, dude, have you watched the whole freaking interview with Danny Jones? He literally sits there and claims that Three Eye Atlas it could be dangerous, right? It could be a potential hostile alien object or something like that because it's different because the mass of the comet is huge, you know. So it's like what? So comets are not supposed to be different sizes now, you know? Um, but I'll let you guys hear these quick clip right here from the Danny Jones podcast and Avi Loeb.
Now, you might say, oh, well, maybe, it's a rare object that happens to come by. That's obviously possible, but at a probability of 0.1% or so, or less. And then, so that was the first anomaly that struck me,
The size.
the mass. So it's a million times more massive than the first interstellar object discovered in 2017 called Oumuamua. That was the size of a football field. So compare the size of a city to the size of a football field. That's the difference in size. And the mass goes like size cubed.
And how do we determine that mass again? What is the calculation there?
Oh, it's just you take the size, the diameter, let's say, and cube it, multiply by the typical density of a solid, and you get the mass. And in both cases, and irrespective, I mean, if you use the same density for both objects, which is solid density, about 1 gram per cubic centimeter, you get a large size of order 5 kilometers or bigger for 3I Atlas. So it's at least 1,000 times more massive than the second interstellar object called the Borisov, which was found back in 2019, and a million times more massive than Oumuamua, which was found in 2017. So that's by itself, it's an anomaly. Why? Because I wrote in my paper, I said, either the object itself is much smaller than we think. Maybe there is a very dense plume of gas and dust around it that reflects sunlight, and the object itself, the nucleus, is much smaller. That would be then that would relieve the tension in terms of the size or the mass. And the second possibility is that if it's so big, maybe it targeted the inner solar system. It was not drawn from the reservoir of rocks in interstellar space. And this was my last sentence. Maybe it targeted the inner solar system. The editor of the journal, and that was just a few.
Wow. So technically what he's saying here is that 3I Atlas might be targeting our solar system. What? It sounds crazy. So, I mean, so are you saying it's intelligent? Is that what he's claiming 3I Atlas is? I don't know, man. I don't know, Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb is a psyop, but I have seen unexplainable lights in the sky. Yeah, badly, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like, when you say something that you don't agree with Avi Loeb, a lot of people get on, they get on your comment sections and they start bombarding you with mean comments, right? It's like, oh, how do you know? You're not a scientist and all of that. It's like, dude, everybody needs to have an open mind about this, right? And we're not saying that Avi Loeb is not allowed to have an open mind, but, I mean, Jesus Christ, you got a freaking Harvard professor, a scientist, astronomer, freaking telling you in your face that 3I Atlas might be targeting our solar system. I mean, what? That's a huge claim right there. That's a freaking national security issue here. You know what I mean? And on top of that, he's the only scientist talking about this. Who else? It's out there. like any professional scientist, like well-known professional scientist, who else other than Michio Kaku? He came out and he said that Three Eye Atlas might be 7 billion years old. I mean, other than him, who else? But, I don't know. Dr. Greer said that Avi Loeb is trying to get some money from the government, the federal government, for a planetary defense something. And that's why he's putting all of these claims out there, so that way the government gets scared. Oh my gosh, the scientist is talking about the possibility of Three Eye Atlas. It's hostile. Yeah, let's give him some money. Let's get more research. So that's what Dr. Greer said about Avi Loeb. I made a video about this too as well, and it kind of went viral, to be honest. But if you guys want to check it out, my TikTok account or page is linked into my YouTube description or bio, and I have all kinds of videos there. I think I have it here on YouTube as well. So, but Avi Loeb being a psyop, I don't know. I don't know that guy. I don't really know this guy. I can't really say anything personal about Avi Loeb. All I can say is what I think and my thoughts about this whole Three Eye Atlas issue. But I can guarantee you, Three Eye Atlas is not a mothership with a bunch of Dracos coming towards planet Earth. It's not happening. That's not how ETs operate. If these aliens wanted to do some harm to our planet or our solar system, they would have done it a long time ago. I guarantee you this. So, and by the way, Three Eye Atlas is moving very slow. I don't understand how people can sit here and say, well, it's moving fast. Like, it's moving faster than a normal comet. It's like, no, it's not. Like, we're talking the universe. When you're talking about space, the speeds are different. You know what I mean? Yeah, it might be faster for like here if it's on planet Earth, but like in space, it's not going fast at all. It's going very slow. Could it be the end of human civilization? I don't know, man. There's a lot of rumors out there about a reset. A reset. Maybe a reset is, I don't know, it's about to happen. Maybe the world is gonna have a whole nother reset. Like back in ancient times. Like the Great Flood and all of that. I mean, it could happen. And then we have to start all over again, with no technology, with no structures, economics, governments, and religions will collapse. Like, a freaking reset on planet Earth means that we have to literally just start all over again. No internet, no satellites, no nothing. Which that sucks, right? But anyways, Avi Loeb, man, out here talking about Three Eye Atlas. It's pretty cool. So how many of you are here from TikTok? So I'm learning about the YouTube stuff here because I don't do live streams on YouTube, but I would like to know how many of you from TikTok are here. I know, Madeline, you from TikTok. I'm going to start doing more live streams very often on TikTok. I mean, on YouTube. Sorry, I keep saying TikTok. I feel like I have more freedom here on YouTube, because TikTok right now, it's just so bad. We're like, all of our videos are being suppressed. Everything, anything that has to do with UFOs and the secrecy and and the black sites and everything else, it's getting suppressed. If you're not talking about ponies and rainbows, your videos are not going to be push out. you know and I've noticed on my live streams, the numbers have just dropped so bad. So I'm going to be doing a lot of changes here with my content and myself also. But I'm going to be doing more live streams on YouTube. I feel like I have more freedom here to say the things I want to say without being really careful. So, but yeah. All right, guys. So I am gonna go now. Thank you for being here. The people that came from TikTok, thank you so much. And if you're from somewhere else, thank you so much too. I'll be doing more lives, streams very often here on YouTube, and we're gonna be talking about the UFO phenomena, alien abductions, and it's just pretty much about the whole UFO thing. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a very